So guys, the Game Awards have announced the nominations for many of their categories. To be honest, I've only looked at one category because, of course, I've only looked at this category, and it's the Game of the Year. Well, I know both of you have seen it because I sent it also to you two. But for those who do not know the nominations, we have Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4 Remake, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. What do you guys think to that lineup?
I think it's
Where's
obvious who's
RoboCop?
gonna win.
Where's RoboCop?
Was RoboCop even actually put it down for anything?
I don't know.
Liza P was obviously that's my fan favorite. That was only nominated for best art.
Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't see that either.
I know of those 6, I know that Alan Wake 2 and Baldur's Gate 3 have the most nominations across the board.
I do find that surprising for Alan Wake 2, since it's only just come out at the time of recording. It's only been out about 2 weeks now.
Yeah, obviously it doesn't surprise me about Baldur's Gate, but Alan Wake 2, I hear good but also mixed things about the first game. Overall, I hear good things about it, but there is a few mixed things I hear, and the sequel, I just hear overwhelming positivity. It's weird for how long Alan Wake's how long it's been since the first game to see how well it's doing across the board. My mate messaged me going, I'm playing Alan Wake 2, it's amazing. I was like, oh, cool. And all the podcasts I listen to that talk about it, they're just swimming it with praises.
See, the first review I heard of Alan Wake was pretty much lukewarm on it. It said it plods along for too long, and there were sections where they had loads of ammo but nothing to use it on.
It's the first one.
No, the second one.
Oh, the second one.
Yeah, so I really likes the first one. I like the first one. I've played the first one 4 times all the way through, but I've not played the new one. Now, the only one I have played in the new game is the Resident Evil 4. That's the only one of the game years I've played.
Of them, there's only 2 of those games I don't own, which is Alan Wake 2 and Super Mario Bros. Wonder. And only 3 of them I've actually played of the 4.
So I did see an article, although I didn't read it in full, but it did make me question it. It said Resident Evil 4 being nominated. It kind of raises the question, should that be allowed? Because technically it's a remake, it's not a new game.
I saw a few people talk about that. Not an article, I just seen stuff on social media. I saw a meme of the best games of 2023, and it was just all remakes. I feel like there should be a category for best remake, but at the same time, and I think you'd agree, Resident Evil 4 is its own thing. A Resident Evil 4 remake is its own thing compared to the original, and I'd also say it doesn't make the original feel invalid. I think if people haven't experienced Resident Evil 4, they may as well play both.
Yeah, I feel it does something similar to the other Resident Evil remakes, where it's differentiates itself enough to be its own game.
Yeah, so rather than being a remake, it's more of a reimagined.
It is a remake, but I think there's enough changes that it is its own thing, but the enjoyment of the original is worth playing.
What about some of those other Game of the Year ones that you've mentioned? Why is there so much talk about the Super Mario game?
I'm not completely sure. I hear good things. I hear it's really good, but I don't know. I guess in my eyes, maybe I'm not the biggest classic Super Mario Bros. Fan, just because I haven't played loads of them. I've played a few and I've enjoyed them, but I don't really know exactly what it's doing different to what's come before. But I think it's all to do with the flowers and the way it changes the levels. I think I could be wrong.
I'd just go out on a limb and say it's in there because it's a Mario game. If it wasn't there, there'd be a riot.
I think
that's what I'm tempted to believe. To be honest.
I feel like that's the case because I've seen a few other people say that maybe Pikmin 4 would have been a better pick over Super Mario Bros. Wonder, but I don't know.
But you've also got to bear in mind that a game like Super Mario Bros. Wonder is highly accessible.
Exactly.
Yeah. The kids aren't going to be playing Resident Evil, Baldur's Gate 3 or Alan Wake, but they will be playing Mario Wonder.
Yeah, I feel like it's, as you say, more accessible, and it's Mario, everyone loves Mario to an extent, despite the fact that he's a strange plumber. People enjoy it.
He's losing his girlfriend.
If they even like that.
We know people love it. We've seen the Rule 34. Let's not deny it.
I'm surprised it's Chris who mentioned that, not us two.
Right, slightly off topic, but relevant to what Chris said about the Rule 34.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Of all the categories,
Oh,
I just
fucking
couldn't
hell.
give two shits about that, to be honest.
Brandon.
Just had to throw it in there.
Again, Marvel Spider-Man 2 is in there. A lot of people are also saying it's not as good as the first one. So does that stand up? I mean, it looks nice, but if the gameplay is not as good, although saying this, I haven't played it.
I have yet to play it
Does it stand
either.
up to scrutiny?
Like, I've got to play Miles. Well, I don't have to, but I want to play Miles Morales. I want to beat that before I play it because I feel that's right to do.
Yeah, it makes sense.
No, I think it's quite a diverse list. They would not be my top 6 games of the year, but I feel like it's quite a diverse list. Well, I hope personally, I hope each one, at least each one gets some recognition, even if they don't win other awards. From what I hear, all 6 of these games are pretty good. I've played 3 of them, and I can say at least 3 of them are really good. With one of them is my game of the year, so
There was one title I am surprised to not see in there, and this is more because I've seen people flat out say this is my game of the year from like several YouTubers. Sea of Stars. Sea of Stars isn't on there. I was surprised that wasn't done really well.
It's in a few different categories, but it's not up
I
for
think if they had an indie title, yeah, but I could
it's
see
in
it.
there for the indie one, I think.
Yeah, I could see it. It's probably going to win like indie game of the year, maybe.
It'll be obviously we all know who's going to win it, but it will be exciting to see like for the other smaller categories what the outcome's going to be.
Yeah, I feel like we're talking about this. I think we all know what's going to win because said game absolutely destroyed the Golden Joystick Awards. I feel like all 6 of these games are worth mentioning, worth playing. I feel like it's a good diverse list. Maybe I'd swap Super Mario Bros. Wonder for something else, and if you wanted to say no remakes, probably switch Resident Evil 4. Other than that, I think the other 4 feel justified to be in this list, in my opinion. Welcome to Victory Achieved Podcast, a video game podcast. I'm Dan, and I'm with Brandon and Chris.
Hello.
Hello.
Right, boys?
Yeah, minor migraine, but soldiering on.
Don't worry. I had a friend who had a migraine this week, and he was absolutely destroyed him for a day. So I feel for you, my buddy.
Yeah, I know. Like some people, like migraines can just absolutely knock on for 6.
Yeah.
I think this is probably like my entire life, maybe like my second one, but the first one I had was just violent. This is just, I can feel it. It exists, but it's not really in the way.
Good. Yeah, I wouldn't wish a migraine on anyone. So yeah, just take it easy as we record. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Chris.
Yep, I don't have a migraine, so I'm alright.
God damn it.
Yeah. I don't know. I was like,
Yeah.
what do I add to that? But like, you do have a migraine. It's, I don't know, an annoying follower. I don't know what to say.
It's not a pain in the neck.
No, it's a pain in the head.
Exactly. Well, if it wasn't obvious to everyone listening, we are recording this episode a mere 5 days away from the last time recorded. So, we won't lie, topics are a bit thin on the ground for this one because we've pretty much been at work since the last episode.
Yeah.
But we got a few tidbits, so don't worry.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I have gamed a lot, but as I've told these two, it's about games I've already spoke about on the podcast. I could add new stuff to it, but I don't think it's worth it. And I'd rather just save my opinions for Game of the Year on those games. Yeah, I've already made I've already organised all my games that I've played this year so far into my best of. So I know what's my top and I know what my bottom is. So yeah, but
Well, I've not played an awful lot, although I have been replaying these Salt and Sanctuary and Salt and Sacrifice games because I was just in the mood for them.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised to find out that the second one, Salt and Sacrifice, unbeknownst to me, has actually had an update and it's added more levels, which was a very nice surprise. It was like, oh, I've got a reason to play it again. Only trouble is, because I only picked it up 2 days ago, I've not got that far into it. I started one of them, but I literally have to scratch the surface. I was like, and I went into it, and the first person you meet is a multi-player multiplayer like cooperative things. So I was like, oh right, it's like the gazebo of stoicism from Dark Souls, which is a name. So I thought, oh,
yes.
it's co-op then. But then I went to the other side of the room, and no, it's like a whole new world. It's like, oh, fantastic! I can't wait to die here tons in the very near future, and I probably will do after I finish work every day next week.
Well,
that remains to be seen.
I know Baldur's Gate 3 had an update this week where it added a new race to play as. I think it's like an angelic race. So if anyone's playing Baldur's Gate and wants to start a new character, you've got a new race to pick.
If we're talking about updates, did you know Lies of P's had another update?
Oh, what does it add this
Tell me
time?
now.
What does it add?
So annoyingly, this came out not 2 days after I finished streaming it, after holding off for like a month. And the latest update makes one of the skills available in the skill tree as part of your moveset as standard. One called like a rising dodge, where you can like basically dodge off the ground. That's the standard now. And it's added more upgrade equipment to the shop, which is extremely nice. He's added like 3 more permanent upgrade things. It's like, oh, that's lovely.
I think I know why they would have done that, though.
Yeah.
So I reckon a lot of Soulsborne people probably might have complained saying, oh, the knockdown is like too much. But my response to that is just get good.
Yeah, it's had a couple of balanced ones, but I feel more hardcore now because I beat the game even before it had its first patch. So it's like, yeah, I did this. I did like the Romeo and the King of Puppets fight when it was fucking hard. But you kids nowadays with your updates and your 1.03 patches. But honestly, it did help because when I streamed it, I got all the way to the final boss, and I just couldn't do him. Not with my moveset. I've beaten him before, but I was like, when I wrapped up the stream, it's like, right, I've been fighting this guy for like 45 minutes now, and he's still kicking my ass. Then I got the update, and then I beat him like second try. It was like, okay, that made things a lot easier because it's like rebalanced some of the weapons as well. So my weapon was like doing slightly more damage, which helped massively. So yeah.
On a Soulsborne note, I forgot to mention this to you too, but I watched a video on YouTube and it was Dark Souls, but every enemy is duplicated.
I think I've seen something along those lines, like clips of it.
I think the hardest boss in the base game was Fire Sage Demon.
Who?
Fire Sage Demon.
Really?
Yeah, as the hardest boss in the base game, Fire Sage Demon. What?
No, the hardest one's Bed of Chaos because it's.
I'll say, imagine.
No. Bed of Chaos is piss easy. Bed of Chaos was piss easy.
Yeah, I bet it would have been piss easy.
Bed of Chaos was nothing. Bed of Chaos was exactly the same as it always is. And then you get to the bug, and it's just 2 of them. That's it. Mm-hmm. No, Bed of Chaos was piss easy. Orson and Smo I thought was going to be harder, but I think the hardest boss, which makes no sense, it makes complete sense that this is the hardest boss in this playthrough was Manus. Having 2 Manus is like ridiculous.
Would that be Manai?
Manai, yeah, maybe Manai.
Although, I'm surprised Calamite wasn't.
Yeah, basically except for Sanctuary Garden, all the DLC bosses were fucking ridiculous.
I have a question. Like, if Ornstein and Snow, if there's like 2 each of them, how the hell does it go into phase 2?
Okay, let me tell you. So
defeat both of them, I'm guessing.
No. So you go in, you got 4 of them. You got the 2 Smos and the 2 Ornsteins. Whichever one you kill first, the other 2, that will still be 2 of them.
Become giant.
Yep. And then you still got the other. So let's say you kill Ornsteins first. You'll then have still have 1 mini Ornstein, and you have 2 super Smaug. But
I think it would be quite hard. Like the Iron Golem just on top of that tower on that tiny arena. We've got 2
yeah, because it just take up so much of the space.
Yeah. Because I watched even just the Asylum Demon. The guy walked in, the first Asylum Demon was just there, and then the other one just falls down. I know, it was quite interesting. The Gwyn fight was interesting because it was just trying to parry the first one as best he could, but with having 2 Gwyns, it was just trying to deal with the other one, and then as soon as one was dead, it was just like boom, parry the motherfucker to death.
And it's not quite duplication, but I have seen like challenge runs. I think like Dante Ravioli did one where in Resident Evil 2, every single enemy is Nemesis. Mr. X.
I knew what you meant.
I think he did it in the same thing in 3 as well, where every enemy is Nemesis, like every zombie. It's just insane. And again, the Sultan Sanctuary, the backlogs did one where where every single enemy was a thing called a spindle beast, which is basically like a unicorn that like one shots you if you get any.
Okay.
So that was fun to watch.
Well, because I saw ages ago, I saw a challenge run on Dark Souls where it's like every 10 seconds, I think, your weapon changes. So you could be using who knows what. I think something like that.
Again, I've seen something similar where the weapons don't change, but is it Baron's Castle did a couple where he's only allowed to use the weapon arts on the games, but between like every boss, like once he's killed it, he's got to change weapon. Like he's got to use something else.
For Elden Ring.
I think he's done it for Dark Souls 3. I think he's done it for the first 3 Dark Souls actually. But I think Dark Souls 2 is probably the hardest because there's way more bosses than there are like special arts in the game. Got to pick and choose.
No. When are you gonna do that? When are you gonna try one of the Dark Souls games with DK bongos? I've got 2 sets.
Zero Lenny's already done it.
Oh, as much as I love Zero Lenny, I don't know him. So I've got DK bongos I can lend you. There you go, Chris.
Good. I've got a good Zero one. Here's the thing, Dan. You said like, I don't think Chris will like Zero Lenny. I quite like Zero Lenny.
Oh, I didn't know you. I didn't know.
I've been subscribed to him for a while. I've spoken to him a few times.
Oh, I didn't know you had. Oh, my mistake.
Yeah. He won't remember me because I'm just some guy in chat, but I've spoken to him a few times, like when it's been quiet.
I was watching his videos where it's just like going through the Souls with IGN Guide, and I think there's one where it's like, I'm bringing my mum on, and it's just like, best behaviour, chat, best behaviour.
It's good, but it's shit. And it just floats down.
I don't know why that's so funny.
I
don't know why that's so funny, but it kind of is.
Anyway, let's wrap up this by saying, go on then, my dear sweet angel.
My sweet baby angel.
That's the one. Yeah. Actually, I've watched some of his early videos where he like modded like Dark Souls 1 and 2 because it's got like a sort of narrative, and he puts in bottom jokes and references, which is a win for me.
Oh, good old bottom. You got there, Brandon?
Yeah, there's just literally just nothing I can contribute to this because as Chris said at the start, usually we record after 2 weeks. It's literally been like recorded today on a Sunday, record on a Monday. All I've been doing is, now that Attack on Titan, the anime has officially finished, I've been power watching through it.
Yeah, you told me where you were just before we start recording. I was like, fucking hell, Brandon.
Yeah, when I'm determined to watch something, I will blast through it. It's just like I did with Cabinet of Curiosities. Like, I'm on episode 74 of Attack on Titan. That's somewhere around about there. And I only started this last week, so I've been averaging about 10 episodes a day.
Fucking hell. Like, I know Attack on Titan's good, but fucking hell, Brandon. And you've got a dog and a girlfriend and a PhD. Fucking hell.
I've been watching it with the dog. I've been staying up till sometimes 2 o'clock at night, and I've been watching it at work.
Well,
I've been watching it during lunch breaks as well. Yeah, I've literally just sold my soul to the devil to make sure I can consume it all.
Yeah, well,
I think I speak for myself and everyone listening that we really need to know what the dog thinks about anime.
Right, okay.
Gosh.
Funny story time.
Here we go.
So,
strap in, lads.
So back when Brea was, I think she must have been probably 4 months old. At the time, my girlfriend was playing Assassin's Creed, and I can't remember what I was watching at the time, or I was either watching something or playing something. But all of a sudden, the dog then learned how to do vertical climbs. And I was just joking around saying it's because you've been playing Assassin's Creed. She's been learning how to do all these those jumps out of Assassin's Creed where they dive or
leap of
climb
faith.
Vertically. Yeah, the leap of faith. That's literally what the dog kept doing. So I was saying, oh, she's been doing that. And then now that I've been watching Attack on Titan, she's now doing all this parkour stuff as if she's using the ODM gear. And I'm just now I'm getting blamed that it's because I've been watching Attack on Titan that she's pretending to be one of the survey corps, just launching around the place as if she's hunting titans. It seems like she very much learns from what she's been watching. But yeah, there was something else I was playing and she was just doing something really stupid as well, and I was getting blamed because I was showing it to her. I can't remember what it was.
Does this mean outside your windows you need to keep carts full of hay out there, just in case she jumps out?
Well, I've got a set of stairs to make sure she can climb up onto the sofa safely, but she just completely jumps over those. She will literally, so we're literally having to pad obviously if there's like a pillow on the floor, we try and hope that she lands on it, but she just clears it. Like it's now reaching a point where she's jumping so high. Like we've been keeping her in the kitchen because she's been in season and we didn't want her to like bleed all over the furniture or anything. And she's now reaching a point where she can jump and her head is visibly clearing like the kitchen counters. So it's only a matter of time. And she's such a tiny dog as well. Like she's only like a few inches off the floor. She's so tiny, but she can fucking jump. And it's kind of so I'm getting blamed.
Oh, she can fucking jump.
And it's literally I'm getting blamed because I've been watching Attack on Titan. But yeah, now that I've been rewatching Attack on Titan, I can safely say that I probably think season 2 is the worst.
That's the general consensus, but I think the other thing is that it's like a slow burn.
I think it's because season 1 obviously kicked off like that dawning of the Colossal Titan when he first appears and just all the early mysteries of it. And then like in season 2 where the mysteries deepen, like with the Beast Titan, and then as it unfolds into season 3, and then season 4 with all the answers basically presented. But now that I'm rewatching it, I feel like that time jump between season 3 and season 4 is a bit much.
It was a bit much when I was reading the manga. I was like, fuck it.
No, that's what I'm thinking. I'm just like, so much has happened. Like there's like a 4-year time jump, and like so obviously it's not the anime's fault because it's the source material, but you feel it when you watch it, like binge watch it, like I have been doing. Like you can feel that difference between season 3 and season 4. You're just like, what the fuck? And obviously, it's all down to the source material. So that early part, obviously, the first part of season 4 was fine, like finding out more about Marley. But then when Eren came into the picture again, I'm just like because I've been binge watching, it was just weird. Yeah. But hey, source material can't be helped.
Be honest, I'm trying to find your Christmas presents right now.
I'm trying to find them.
I was going to buy you something, and you both got something, and now it's disappeared from this website. So now I have to find something else. I know. That's how interesting. Oh, shit. Oh, that's interesting.
See, I've been really good. I've got both yours wrapped and ready to go. I'm well ahead of time because I knew I was going to be really, really fucking busy for like the next month. I ain't going to get time to do any shopping. So they're all done, all ordered. Even got my nieces sorted. So that's all my shopping done.
The only person I've done is my dad, because I had myself and my siblings, we split it between the 3 of us. So that's the only present I sorted. Other than that, I've had other things on my mind, which you both are aware of, but I've not said on the podcast because I don't want to. But it's fine. It's nothing bad. It's just I've had things on my mind, and that's why. Because I had my dad today going, "What do you want for Christmas?" And I'm like, "Well, you know what's been on my mind." He's like, "Yes." I'm like, once I'm past that, I'll have a think. There we go.
I've been looking for you guys' Christmas bits, but I've not really had any luck with really finding anything. Like I have this like idea of what I want to get. It's like when you actually go, because I mean, when it comes to Christmas shopping, I do like going to actual physical shops rather than shopping online, just because I feel like it's nice seeing the actual thing in person rather than buying online. Because I've had like certain times where I've bought stuff online and it looks nothing like what I originally thought it was going. So
I know.
You guys have as well.
Do you remember that Guts Berserk figure?
Berserk figure.
That's in the trash now. Oh well. Well, we're talking about a lot of random shit. Chris, you actually have watched something.
I have. I watched, one and a bit, I guess. I suppose 2 bits, really, when I break it down. So I've watched both the first episode of Amazing Digital Circus and the first half of Invincible Series 2. That's only up to 3 episodes at the minute. So kind of watch some stuff. I'll start with Amazing Digital Circus.
What is this?
So this is like a CGI. Well, I guess it's going to flesh out into a full series that's available on YouTube, so you can watch it anytime you want. It's done by a studio called Glitch, who I believe are famous for the series Has Been a Hotel and Hell of a Boss, which I've not watched either of.
I've been interested in watching Hell of a Boss just so I know some context, because I've seen some cosplayers cosplay characters from it.
Well, if you know my taste, I've seen like some of the characters from Hell of a Boss and say, I know this thought, fairies. No thanks. That's not for me.
Yeah.
But I kept seeing this character from Amazing Digital Circus pop up, like Pomni and Kane, the ringmaster, is like a set of teeth with eyeballs in the middle. And then I found it was a horror. I thought, Are we going into like "Don't hug me, I'm scared" territory? I quite like that. Like stuff that looks like fine on the surface, and then you look at it for a bit longer and go, "Nope, that's a bit fucked up." So I give this a watch purely on a whim because, again, because we're recording early, no time to watch anything. But since Amazing Digital Circus is only like 20-25 minutes, it's like, yeah, I can squeeze that in. Plus, I want to see what the hell this Jesticle Pomni is, because already I've seen it all over social media. It's like everywhere. It's like, fine, I'll have a look, see what it is. Honestly, it seems all right. The opening captivated me immediately because even though it's CGI graphics, like the very start of it, all the graphics are like PS1 style, like really blocky and pixelated, just how you imagine it, like a menu screen on the PS1. So I was like, ooh, now that's my bag. And then unfortunately for me, it goes more HD and like rounds off. Is like, I've been about the shitty graphics, please. I like that. But honestly, it's really, really well animated. All the characters are very expressive. Pomni especially. I got a few laughs just out of her expressions because she's like having some like existential dread going on. And you know that look that people get when they're like staring out into space and realise they're fucked. When the pupils go like really small. It's like, okay, that's the perfect reaction to this scenario. So what's actually going on? It's one of those ones where it's really down to speculation. I suppose a bit like Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. It's like one of those shows you can start breaking it down and analysing like each scene as to what the hell is going on. But the main premise is the Amazing Digital Circus, at least on the front of it, is pretty much what it is. It's a circus. It's digital, so it's supposedly in like a sort of VR headset realm, but all the characters are like quote unquote trapped there. So I guess a bit like Sword Art Online to draw a comparison. At least this is what it's feeding us, and it's only a pilot, so I'm going to suggest there's going to be a lot more to it than that. And each character in it is really radically different. There's like a sort of like a patchwork doll. There's a character that's just pretty much just made out of abstract shapes, and then you've got this this ringleader in it who seems to be in charge, but we still don't really know. It's weird, man, but in a good way. So this character like ringleader is like Kane. He's trying to keep everyone in check because how it's done is like every character's been there for a little while, apart from Pomni, like the jester character, who's like he's like the vehicle for the audience to see what the hell is going on. But I don't really want to say anything else, because anything else would, well, one, it's a speculation on my half, and secondly, there's kind of the less you know about it, the more you probably enjoy it. Like, just go along for the ride and say it's only 20 minutes, like 25 minutes. So I do recommend it though. It is very, very well animated, and it's just nice to look at and is actually funny, which is a blessing in this day and age, because maybe I'm just getting old and cynical, and I am, but I'm finding less and less stuff funny as I get older. But this one made me laugh, so it gets points for that. Yeah, give it a go.
Well, I just bought your Christmas presents. I found it.
Hooray.
But I'm thinking, now you say it's Hell of a Boss, I'm probably going to give it a shout. To be fair, I keep meaning to check out Hell of a Boss in general, because, like I said, I see, yes, female cosplayers. I'm like, okay, I would like to see what it's actually from. So, yeah.
I'm looking at the voice cast of Amazing Digital Circus because I thought I recognised one or two of their voices, but I've got no idea. I think some of them might reprise their roles, some like Has Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss, but I'll tell you. And I'm not deep diving them.
Yeah. Well, no, that's cool. Yeah, like I've seen that the fucking jester like all over social media, and I was like, I have no idea what this is from, but at least now I know.
On a single episode, and it's gone fucking everywhere.
Yep, indeed.
So I'll just move on to Invincible Series 2, I guess. Again, I've not got much to say because it's
still early days.
I mean, it's still early days. I liked Invincible. I didn't think it was like fantastic, but I did find it entertaining. And I'll be brutally honest with you, because it's been like a couple of years since it came out. When I started going into season 2, I really needed that recap, because I was like, yeah, what the hell happened? I can't fucking remember. That was 2 years ago. It was still in lockdown back then, so I watched it in the first place.
I still remember exactly when I watched it, and I was in a weird headspace that day. So, at that point, but I still remember really enjoying it. And obviously you had the Atom Eve as well. That was really good.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good little time, like sort of.
Apparently that ties in quite a bit
At the minute, no.
Okay. Well, literally spoke to my mate this morning. He was like, "Yeah, it ties in loads." I was like, "Oh, okay."
I mean, she's in it, but she was in season 1. But I wouldn't say it's like come to a head or anything. It's not really been mentioned.
Well, I
So I
don't.
missed an entire scene.
Maybe I've been misinformed. I've not watched it, the season 2 as of yet. To be fair, I didn't even know. I knew that IGN had reviewed the first episode, but I forgot it was weekly, and 2, I didn't realize already 3 episodes were out.
Neither did I until I started watching it. I thought there was only like 1 or 2 episodes out. But
I forgot they were all 50 minutes long.
Yeah, so did I. I thought they were like 20, 25 minutes.
I was like, I'll just watch one. 48 minutes. Nah, I'm gonna do something else.
Well, I don't want to like get too much into plot, but I will a little bit. If I compared this to anything at the minute, it's Spider-Man 2 is what I'm comparing it the most to.
Which Spider-Man 2?
The Tobey Maguire one.
I thought so.
Because it's a case of like him coming to terms of like what happened with his dad, a bit like akin to like Uncle Ben. Invincible is like getting used to his powers. He's like not quite making a name for himself. Like people know who he is, but he's like unsure what he wants to do. Plus, he's like graduated from high school and college, so he's at that crossroads in his life. He really doesn't know what to do. He's like completely lost. Like he'll fly out to like crises that happens like in like the first episode, and then doesn't really do anything because he doesn't know whether to interfere or not. But yeah, I'm drawing a lot of parallels to Spider-Man. It just seems to be a similar-ish kind of story. But then in the first series, you had like the new sort of superhero teams that were building up. Like, I don't know if you remember, like Robot, Rexplode, all that one.
Yeah.
And they're in it, but at the minute, their stories do not seem intertwined like at all. They seem like completely separate entities. I'm sure it's going to come to a head at some point, but at the minute, it's like you got the stuff with Mark going on, but he's like completely isolated to what's going on with the group.
Obviously, Omni-Man's gonna. I've forgotten what their race is called, but they're gonna all come back into it at some point as well.
Oh yeah, they're like billed as like the biggest threat to the universe at the minute because nobody knows what to do.
Because essentially, they're just evil. I forgot what the fucking
like evil Superman.
Yeah, well, I don't want to. I'm trying to forget the actual races. What Superman's race is.
Krypton.
Yes, yeah, they're essentially just evil Kryptonians.
Kryptonians.
Or I think I've seen a few slight spoilers, but this is before season 2. This is like as if like it's a bit like Mark's family is a bit like the like Hayachi and Kazama and Jin from like Tekken. It's a little bit like that.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I suppose it's not major spoilers. Just like talk about like Omni-Man, like as like being the villain, because you just take the one look at him, and it's even in the first episode. It's like, yeah, he's the bad guy. It's very, very obvious.
Yeah.
Although I think currently in series in series 2 Invincible, it kind of it's making, because Mark doesn't know what to do. I think some of it is being swayed by like maybe his dad's right. About the whole thing. So I think if I was to make a prediction of how it's going in a minute, the superhero group are probably gonna fight Invincible at some point if he flips, and that's why it's building up to. But that's pure speculation on my part. But it does introduce like a new sort of villain. At least I think it's going to be a villain. Like in the background, if you remember the Mulder twins from the first series, they're still in it, and they're working with like this new character who's trying to gain like infinite knowledge from like all different versions of himself. Because it's
knowledge is power.
There's knowledge is power, but there's also it's got multiverses in it. Of
course. Everything has multiverses. Everything has multiverses these days.
Yeah, he's introduced as like, this is my power. He like clicks his fingers and like portals to multiverses open up. It's like, I can do this. So, ideally, his plan is to like get every version of himself from every like universe and just like gather all knowledge so they can beat like Omni-Man. Because his argument is like, in this universe we haven't like beaten cancer, but there's a universe that has, and there's like a universe that's like got world peace, so we'll take the knowledge from that. It's like, okay, solid plan. Not sure how that's going to work, but yeah, I did roll my eyes slightly when he was like, multiverse again. It's like, again, it's time travel all over again. When that like got popular and like everything did time travel, it was like,
all I can say is with Invincible, the comics have been out for years, so they are just adapting the comics.
I guess, but I know multiverse is not a new concept by any stretch.
No, because it's just too many pieces of media doing it all at the same time, so it kind of wears off a bit. The what makes it interesting.
Here's a question regarding like multiverses in shows.
Mm-hmm.
Like I get when they're trying to write it, it's trying to up the ante by like putting more pressure on everyone, like the heroes to save everything, because it's like it's not just their universe, it's every universe they're trying to save. It's like it's a lot on their plate that they're trying to deal with, and they're trying to up the scale. But I think when, as a viewer, it does the opposite effect, because now you think, well, now there's no stakes, because if this character dies, we'll just get another one from another universe. It's like there's infinite possibilities. We'll just do it again, or we'll find a universe where they made they've cured death and just get that and start all over again. So I think it has like the total opposite effect. I don't know how you feel about that.
I don't know. I feel like certain stuff tries to explore it, but it doesn't explore it well enough, and it just kind of does the same old things that we've seen time and time again. But I think when like it's explored well, it's really interesting. But I don't know, like sometimes it's just like, oh, here we go, and a lot of it's done for laughs, or it's not that deep, and it's like, well, how much does this actually add to this story? So
yeah, sometimes it feels like, I mean, not in every show, but some shows, I guess, it feels like they've wrote themselves into a corner, so just go, fuck it, multiverse, everything's fine again.
It's like I've when it comes to like writing a story, if I'm wanting to write a story these days, I go, right, I'm not doing anything time travel, because I thought of a time travel story and it was just a ginormous clusterfuck, and I'm just like, no. I've not ever written anything with multiverses, but I think I've maybe done a few with like parallel, and I was just like, nah. It just, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I just find there's not really anything interesting I can say when I think some stuff I've seen has already done it. Like I think when Doctor Who was good, the David Tennant episodes where while he was with Rose and you had the parallel universe, they were really interesting. But a lot of stuff like that, I don't know what more you can, what you really say. I don't know.
I do think if you're going to write about time travel, like just glancing at some of the books and titles in that regard, a lot of the authors already have a background in like science and like theoretical science kind of thing. So this is the kind of thing they discuss regularly anyway before they bring it into a novel. Because if you're writing something like time travel or multiverses in shows or books, it's got to be airtight. If you like leave one little loophole, somebody's going to point it out. It's going to be so difficult to get correct.
Yeah, it is really difficult, because even just some of the Doctor Who episodes I find are pretty confusing sometimes. I'm like, I don't know, I don't understand how it's like not breaking like the laws of time and well, I don't know, because like with time travel you got to like set some sort of rule, and I don't know. A show like Doctor Who has been going for so long. There's bound to be bad episodes. Yeah,
it's gonna happen.
I don't know. I think time travel can be done. A time travel story can be written incredibly well and can say a lot. Something like Steins Gate, anime, but it says a lot about time, and its time travel is done more organically. But then there's other stuff with time travel that just doesn't make sense at all. So
I like how we did a episode which had like a strong theme of time, and now we're talking about it again.
Well, time keeps on ticking into the future.
It sure does.
You're right, Brandon.
Yeah, just vibing.
You got stuff to talk about.
There's literally, there's just nothing I can contribute.
Okay.
Right.
Well, I mentioned this prior, so here we go. Have you heard the news about Nintendo?
If this is about what you mentioned to me, so I know about it, then yes.
You mean the upcoming live-action Zelda film, by any chance?
That is what I mean. Yes, there is going to be a live-action Legend of Zelda Legend of Zelda film.
Legend of Zelda thing, indeed.
Yep. And the first headline I see immediately after that was Machine Gun Kelly wants to be.
Oh gosh, he can fuck off.
Yes. We all know every character in Zelda should be played by Chris Pratt.
No, don't you mean Patrick Wilson?
Yes, Patrick Wilson.
Patrick Wilson, mate.
Patrick Wilson, this film has been played by Chris Pratt.
Funny enough, I saw the Garfield, there's a new Garfield film, and it has Chris Pratt in it. I was just like, how am I not even surprised? To be fair, I did think, like, despite everything about Chris Pratt, I actually think Chris Pratt is a good pick for Garfield.
I pictured Chris Pratt as like doing a sort of Thanos. He's gonna get all the Infinity cartoons and just like,
oh yeah,
like rule your entire childhood. He's Iron Winnie the Pooh next, I believe.
But yes, so Nintendo are doing a Legend of Zelda live action film. Do you know who the director is?
I've seen. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but haven't they had an awful track record with every film they've made?
I wouldn't say it's awful, but it's very muddled because they directed the Maze Runner films and Morbius.
Oh, my favourite part of The Legend of Zelda is when he's Zeldering all over the place. It's Zeldering time.
He's Morbin. But he's also directing the new Planet of the Apes film as well. Yeah. And
Not to say it's been played by Chris Pratt, of course.
You know it. I don't like if I like. This obviously comes off from because of the Super Mario Bros. Film, the success of that, and I'm not surprised that the next thing they're going is Legend of Zelda. But in my mind, why isn't this animated? I feel like it would be better animated than live action.
Well, here's the thing though, with how Zelda is, the art styles are all over the place. Like, I'm thinking like live action, my mind immediately jumps to like Twilight Princess and how that was done. That was done more realistically, apart from the weird looking characters. Or like, I think if they went with any particular art style, like one of the better ones would be like Wind Waker-esque if they went animated, because that's as timeless as it is.
I feel like if they were to do it animated, like could go more maybe Studio Ghibli-ish and do something.
Yeah, that work. That would work more with the Tears of the Kingdom side of art style, wouldn't it?
I don't know. I feel like whatever they plan story-wise, I feel like it's going to be its own original thing. I don't think they're going to adapt any game.
Nah.
I can't see that occurring. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're going to adapt a game.
If they do, I just hope they don't butcher it.
I feel like they're going to do an original story. The thing is with Link, he is meant to be a self-insert character to a point.
That's the whole point of him not talking.
Exactly. That's where I'm going. You know, like we know that Link does talk, but he chooses not to. We never actually see him speak any words. Because even in like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, it's like, oh no, he does speak. He's just very silent. And a lot of that is to be very stoic for Princess Zelda. But
is that always just done with everyone's shit and he just can't be bothered? He just like rolls his eyes.
I know you're going for a joke, but I was like actually saying like...
Oh, you want me to get an ocarina to get a tunic to go in a volcano? What a bullshit this is. What, you want me to go on like a horse and cart and ghost at night time? Oh, for fuck's sake. Just give me the heart, people. I'm meant to be saving the earth, not running around chasing cuckoos. I ain't got time for this bullshit.
And then, we got... What would the villain? I would assume it's going to be Ganondorf, because like of the many Zelda villains, if you're going to do a live action with Ganondorf's probably your best bet. Have the big OG bad. There you go.
Yeah, it's the most marketable.
Yeah, I was saying this to Chris. I was saying this to Dan before we started recording. But if we are going to aim for Ganondorf as the villain, would you want it to be like the skinny-looking Ganondorf, i.e. from like Ocarina of Time, or would you want to go for like chunky, as in from like the later games?
Well, You got like dad bod version from Wind Waker.
Yeah, like dad bod version, for example.
Despite that's like the best written version of Ganondorf, he does have a bit of a dad bod. You got like big burly buff, more big beefy muscly from Twilight Princess. You have the Chad from Tears of the Kingdom, and then you've kind of got like the more iconic version of him from Ocarina of Time. To be fair, his Hyrule Warriors look is incredible as well, but everyone forgets about that.
What about his pig form?
Well, that's kind of given that he'll probably be that, have that. Maybe, I don't know.
So do you not think they're going to make the live action film based on the old 80s cartoon where he's going around going, "Excuse me, princess"?
Oh no, I think they're going to try and go as far away from that as possible. Leave that in the dust.
But there's an episode where they open up a water park. I mean, think of the implications.
I'll tell you this. I've never watched it. I don't plan to. So, excuse me, princess. It can fuck off.
It's not that bad. It's one of those things you watch and it's just like, this is stupid. I love it.
I'm sure it is.
Ganondorf.
I'm sure
There's
it
a
is.
couple of scenes where like Ganondorf is like clicks his fingers and keeps teleporting around while he's talking to himself. It's like, still, have you got ADHD? Stop, teleport. Why are you doing that? I think it's because he can. I think it's just like showing off to himself. Also, the Triforce speaks in it, which is weird. Oh, and there's only also 2 parts, so it's not a triangle. It's more like a diamond split in half.
Link has brown hair.
Yeah. Although he kind of did in the original game anyway, so... And Link, eventual Link.
Yeah, because I literally have my Legend of Zelda figurine behind me, and he has more gingery brown hair, so... Yeah.
As we all know, the true form of Link has bright pink hair from Link to the Past. So if they don't do that in the in the live action one, I'm going to write.
The Link to the Past, Link is definitely one of the strongest Links in the franchise. Easy.
I mean, what I'd like to see from this, if they did do it like animated, would be to do it more like the Castlevania. But instead of like Dracula's castle, you have more like Ganon's tower, and you make like Ganon like proper dark. And, like, you can like show he's a real powerhouse, is going around invading Hyrule bit by bit and taking it over with moblins and shit.
I think I would want this to be animated, but that's obviously not going to happen. If they did, I'd want it probably more like Studio Ghibli in like its style and probably the way it tells its story, but obviously that's not going to be what it is. It's going to be live action, and I don't know how I feel about it being live action. It's not what I would want, but I don't know what direction they would go. Like, I don't know, it depends what, like, if they're inspired by like Lord of the Rings, if they're going to do something in that vein. I don't know.
So let me ask this question to you. If we're just going to pick with like let's just say the 3 leads, like Zelda, Link and Ganon, who would you pick to play each role?
Well, if I think what's actually going to occur, I think Link and Zelda are going to be very unknown actor and actress, and Ganondorf will be whoever plays Ganondorf will be far more known. But
What about The Rock?
yes, it's going to be Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Yeah, no, you can fuck off.
Don't jinx it, they fucking will.
No, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson can be I know exactly who
Moblin number 7.
No, you know what he can be?
Tingle.
No. No, it's the most obvious. He can be a Goron.
I was going to say the Zora Princess.
But you got The Rock. He can be Darunia. There you go. He'll be a great Darunia. He'll be great Darunia. There you go.
No, he's quite obviously played by Danny DeVito. I mean, look at him. He's got the same goatee.
Okay, Danny DeVito is a good Darunia as well, but...
Look, you can picture Danny DeVito just rolling around on the floor.
I can picture Danny DeVito doing many things. If I actually think what's going to happen, Link and Zelda are going to be unknowns or up-and-coming actor, actress, like Luffy was in the live-action One Piece. It'll be similar to that, but that's not the question you've asked. The question you've asked is, who do you think? And so I have to pick names out. So, Tom Holland is Link? No, I'm kidding. I don't know.
Shout, to be honest. That probably wouldn't be a bad shout, to be honest.
No, as much as I like Tom Holland, he was a bad choice for Nathan Drake.
I was only thinking in terms of like stature and stuff as well, like because a good actor literally replicates the sort of dimensions you'd expect of said character they're trying to act as.
It also depends what kind of Link they're going for. Are they going to do like a more younger Link, or are they going to do a more older Link? Are they going to go for one a bit more like Twilight Princess or Wind Waker, or a mixture of Ocarina of Time, or like, I don't know,
or Child Link?
Yeah, who knows? It depends what story they're going for, what they want to do. I think I'd assume, since the current Link is more adult, I think an adult actor is probably a good idea, probably a good baseline on what he might be. So we know you're gonna have Brandon, you're gonna have Patrick Wilson play all three leads.
Of course, following on from that, from the horror theme.
I don't know.
I'm gonna have a good thing.
I don't know. I feel like,
again, it all depends on whether we go. See, it's like if they do the original story, part of me thinks they'll probably take on aspects of Ocarina of Time in terms of the time-related activities, rather than just sticking with a single generation, you know what I mean? Because it's that time travel which is quite iconic of Legend of Zelda in some aspects.
well, it's in quite a few games. It's in Skyward Sword, Ocarina of Time, Tears of the Kingdom, what else? Is it Phantom Hourglass, is it?
Yes, that's what I'm thinking. That's
Spirit
what I'm thinking.
Tracks.
I think we might see a kid and adult Link. So if it's going to be a kid, obviously it's going to be some upcoming actor. Because
I think you're probably going to have a bit of both, maybe some backstory. But I think,
yeah,
I feel like, I feel like there's only going to be, oh shit, that's not what I wanted.
it's still Christmas shopping.
No, I was typing Legend of Zelda movie and it went Legend movie. I was like, no, I don't want the Legend movie.
I Am Legend. It's Will Smith.
No, Legend movie. I think you've not watched Legend. It's with Tom Cruise in.
I've seen that one.
Yeah,
With Tim Curry.
and Tim Curry.
Nope.
Yeah, I watched that many moons ago.
It's certainly a film that exists.
Yes, it is. It's yeah, that's a good way to mention it.
Yeah, I remember my folks saying, "Oh, Legend wasn't very good," but I looked at it and like, that looks all right. And then I watched it. It's like, oh, I see why.
Right, I've put. I've seen. Here's some ideas for. I think this is more a Breath of the Wild / Tears of the Kingdom cast. They're saying Idris Elba as Ganondorf.
Interesting.
No.
I don't agree. Liam Hemsworth as Prince Sidon. What? Michael Rooker is Daruk. What? Amelia Clarke is Minfa. Pedro Pascal as Reveille. Jenna Ortega as Pura. What? Where is this list?
Slight tangent. Why you mentioned Pedro Pascal? Did you see he's been cast as Reed Richards in the MCU?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a tidbit for the future. I'm sure we'll talk about that in a few years' time.
Yeah. I don't know.
In fact, if I play my Ocarina now, I can time travel to when we record that episode. Let you know how it goes.
The Great Deku Tree. Liam Neeson. What? But none of it had Link. I don't know. What?
I don't know many younger actors, but if I had to pick one out of a hat to play Link, who's a bit more known, Finn Wolfhard, like Mike from Stranger Things.
Oh yeah.
Kind of see it. Give him pointy ears, and there you go. He's got the right build for it. He's a lanky man.
He's got the right build, but I remember there was a certain film he was in recently, but he looked quite unwell, if you know what I mean. Can't remember what film it was, but his jawline looked a bit.
I know he's in like the Ghostbusters. And
that's what I probably might have seen it in, the Ghostbusters. Yes, that's where I saw him, in Ghostbusters.
Okay. Right, I found another a guy who's put his fan cast, and I think someone needs to tell him about one of them because it's not going to happen. He's put for Link Garrett Hedlund, who I think he was in Tron Legacy. I'm not
who that is.
I'm not. Natalie Portman for Zelda, Hugo Weaving for Ganondorf, which I don't think is a bad choice either.
Do you want to know who I picked for Ganondorf?
Who?
If we're going like purely from like Ocarina of Time standards, I think Bryan Cranston will do really well.
Yeah. On this fan cast, he's put the King of Hyrule. Do you want to have a guess who it is?
Keanu Reeves.
It's an old man. Well, he's old.
Ian McKellen.
You're on the right lines. Or you're on someone related to him.
Patrick Stewart.
No, I'll tell you, and then you'll see the problem. Christopher Lee.
He's fucking dead.
Exactly. Exactly.
I was going to say Christopher Lee at first, but then I was just like, he's dead. There's no way. But then you have to.
There's no way.
Guys, time travel. You go back and get it.
Play the Ocarina and bring Christopher Lee back.
You know, what? Raru Sage of Light as Jeff Bridges? What? What is this person's...
Actually, if we're bringing back Christopher Lee, he'd do better as the old Deku Tree. He's
He
got the
would
same
actually
grey
be
facial
quite
hair.
good. Yeah, his voice for Deku
What?
could be
Mary
quite nice,
Elizabeth
actually.
Elizabeth Winstead as Saria, Sage of the Forest. What?
Actually, I can picture that.
I
How
think
she looks in Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and now she looks. I can see that.
Rosario Dawson as Impa, Sage of Shadow. I can actually see that.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Olivia
that's not-
Wilde
that's
as Princess Ruto. So Halle Berry as Naburu, Sage of Spirit.
Those are pretty good picks, to be fair.
Except for Christopher Lee, 'cause he's fucking dead. Rest in peace, Christopher Lee.
We'll just do the whole hologram CGI.
Yeah, just like what they did with the Rock and the Scorpion.
Here's another. It's like, who should play Link in a Zelda movie? Tom Holland. I was like, no. I don't know. Yes, Wes Ball, director of the Maze Runner series and the upcoming Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, as well as Morbius. What
It's
is
playing
Link?
Princess Zelda. We still haven't got money.
Like if it was more like Twilight Princess Zelda, I'd probably say, fucking, oh my gosh, her name's just fucking escaped me. The woman who plays Hermione.
Emma Watson.
Yes, Emma Watson.
I mean, I can see it because obviously she was in Beauty and the Beast.
What about Alison Brie as Zelda?
Just to piss off the incels, yes, do it.
What? I'm
There are
okay.
references there.
I'm not gonna ask that. Just carry on. I don't know. I'm not really sure who I would. I don't really have any ideas. I think, as I said, I feel like Link and Zelda. Ultimately, I'd rather them just be unknowns or very, very lesser known actors and actresses. I feel like realistically that makes more sense.
But it depends on if they want to try, like, if they did bring in, like, more, towards A-list actors, do you think, would it necessarily bring in box office revenue? Probably not. I think the majority of people going to watch the Legend of Zelda movie are going to be people who grew up with the game, rather than people unknowing to the series, maybe.
Well, they're going to make it appeal to the masses regardless.
Yeah, they're going to have to in some form, so they'll probably have to bring in some known actors.
William
They'll need
Dafoe
somebody to
as
advertise it.
Ganondorf. No, I mean,
Batista.
he's in everything these days.
I'm okay with that. Dave Bautista's Tingle. There you go.
Yeah, oh, he
To be fair, I imagine, that would be kind of...
I don't know.
Actually, if we age him up a bit, I reckon Ryan Gosling would make quite a good Link.
I did see a perfect fan casting for Beetle though. I don't know the actor's name, but both of you are well aware. The guy who plays Howard from The Big Bang Theory.
I'd have said Taika Waititi.
Do you think they'll probably bring in more of the Disney actors to do some of the roles?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
Who's got the rights to it?
Yeah, that's a good
Oh,
question.
it's Nintendo, and then it's whatever.
They did a bit Illumination made like.
Well,
money
it's
at once.
nothing to do with Illumination.
Yeah, but who has got it then?
No, let me check.
So that'll give us an idea of who they're going to put into it. Because if it's Disney, it's like, yeah, Pascal Presco, going to play out every character.
Right.
I'm just scrolling down, and one of the first things I've seen is no, Tom Holland shouldn't play Link.
Adrad Productions Incorporated. That's what it is. That's the company.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, that's whoever that is.
Yep, like I said. There we go. Right, where's Ball?
Oh, they're working with Sony Pictures.
Oh, that's that's what I was trying to. Yeah,
Sony
he's.
Pictures. So Tom Hardy, then.
Oh no, he didn't direct Morbius.
Did you not?
No, but he.
He didn't mob all over the direction.
No, he definitely had a play in it though. Where is it? Oh no, it doesn't say anything. But he definitely had he definitely had a hand in something related to Morbius. If we go, or am I thinking of something else? Or is it? Wait, Arab Productions are the ones that did. Yes. No, wait, no. I'm not sure. I don't know what I'm saying.
I think we might cut this, mate.
This bit, yeah.
I tell you what, I tell you what, a big thing we're overlooking. I just said, Nintendo's working with Sony Pictures. Nintendo's working with Sony. Is that not a bit weird?
That is a bit interesting.
I can put God on-
Unless Nintendo is well aware that Sony's got a monopoly of sort of film.
Well, Sony.
Make Zelda and put a God of War in it, just to fuck people off.
Well, Sony distribute a lot of films, so I'm not surprised that they've joined forces with Sony to, help distribute the Legend of Zelda film when it's out.
Here's the thing about film distribution, I guess, disputes. Have you seen the drama with Warner Brothers? They made pretty much an entire film of like Roadrunners, and then they've like scrapped it in as like a tax write-off. Have you seen about that?
No.
Well, they did this similar thing not so long ago with the Batwoman film, which was pretty much ready to go, as was this one. And they cancelled it, tax write-off. But now this newer one with Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote has triggered an investigation as to why that's happening. It's like, why are they investing so much money into this and then cancel it last minute to get money back? Is that not a bit shady?
Oh, of course it is.
Multiple times now. It's
course
like
it is.
kickstarted an investigation now. It's like, why is that happening?
Fair. I did see a funny meme the other day where it was, you know, the bit from Infinity War. It's like, oh, it was a Footloose, the greatest film ever made, and Spider-Man's like, oh, it never was. It's that, but is the Flash the worst, the biggest flop of 2023? And then it's got Spider-Man going, oh no, it's the Marvels now, just because the Flash is Warner Brothers.
Yeah, they're not doing very well for themselves at the minute. Same for the video game department as well. Plus, everyone's kicking off, like going back to Game of the Year, like everyone's kicking off about why is Harry Potter not in Game of the Year? Is it because it's a bit shit?
It was a bit buggy when it first came out, I think, as well.
I think there's
and then you got the whole political angle of it.
Oh, yeah,
I think there's a lot of reasons why it's not there. I know Warner Brothers have a lot of properties, and they don't treat them that well.
Which makes me think Warner Brothers is being helmed by Ganon.
They're a bit like Disney. Disney have a lot of properties, and they don't treat them that well either. They're both the same, similar, I don't know. But then even Nintendo can be like that. But then unlike the other two, Nintendo actually produce good games, so we kind of let them off slightly, but they still have that weird air to them.
Well, they're mostly just very protective about the properties, and you can't blame them.
The thing is, I actually found this out today from the latest Trash Taste episode, funny enough, is when they, the Wii Virtual Console, that was all emulation, and now they're like, no emulation. So it's a bit like, you say no emulation, but you were doing it, you were doing it like you were pirating emulation on the Wii Virtual Console. So I don't know where you draw the line, but, I don't know.
Unless they mean emulation in terms of free emulation rather than paying for a license of the game and emulating it.
I feel like I don't know enough, and maybe I shouldn't have brought this up, but there is there is something that they like with their the emulation laws, or how they feel about emulation, and then they were essentially taking advantage of it many moons ago. I don't know. At the end of the day, emulation keeps games alive,
especially older ones, because they'll die out otherwise. We need some way to keep the old games alive.
Well, the whole subject of game preservation, I feel, is a topic for another day. That's too big a one. Basically,
the Zelda film should be animated. Time travel is if it's written badly. Warner Brothers, not a good company. Shady people. Invincible season 2 sounds interesting. Game of the Year, interesting picks.
Holders.
Although I do think there should be a live action Zelda. I want to see it.
And we at Victory Achieved have been scraping about this episode. I am sorry.
We still managed to record for
over an hour.
An hour and a half-ish, yeah.
Well, at least you know that our next one will have a whole load of things to talk about. Like, I will have watched the Scott Pilgrim animated series. I'll be up to date with Invincible. And
I'd have worked for 3 weeks solid.
Yeah, I won't be talking about it on the podcast, but I'll have some personal stuff to tell you guys. So, I've got all that to tell you guys. Hopefully your Christmas presents that I bought while we were recording today will come by then. We'll be having our little podcast meal soon. As you all know, where to find us on the old social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, where to listen to us on all your streaming platforms, like Facebook, like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, Audible, whatever other ones. We're on 6, I can't remember the other 2. And these two boys will be, these two boys will be streaming, but Chris not as much. But then I guess that's probably by the time this episode out, you should be back.
I shall be back on the 9th. Also, I'm just going to mention, just completely off the cuff, I'm 2 years sober today. Isn't that nice?
Woo!
Etc.
I hardly drink anyway these days. Although
I like going to like having a refreshing cold one with some social company.
Cracking a cold one with cracking open a cold one with the boys.
Yeah, I feel dignified.
Well, loads of people I know, they went out last night, and the first comment on my WhatsApp group was, I'm hungover, and then I sent a meme going, it had Maisie Williams going, what do we say to the God of Hangovers? Not today. I don't. You're not missing anything, Chris. I'm glad you're doing well health wise, and you know there's something very inspiring about being sober. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong either way, but there is something inspiring about sobriety, especially in the way you bring it up.
Oh, my wallet loves me for it anyway.
Your what?
Wallet.
My wallet loves me for it.
Oh yeah, wallet. Yeah, financial incentive alone is.
Well, it's the same with smoking. Also, I don't smoke, so I've never felt that. But I'm like, fuck me. Like,
never.
how much money if I smoked? How much money would I spend on it? Fucking hell.
Your money box account wouldn't exist.
I can tell you now, your average packet costs you about £17. About £13.
Well, how many do you get in there?
Which is about $17, $18. 20 or so, I think. Yeah, it's 20.
If you're a 40 a day person, you're looking at 40 quid a day. Or 30 quid a day.
That sounds like such a waste of money. I'm sorry if anyone actually smokes who listens to this, but I don't. None of us do. Sorry, but yeah. Well, say something, Brandon.
Okay, I'll say something. When is the actual Game of the Year awards being announced?
I don't know. Google.
As this episode was, I don't know off the top of my head when it's going to be released, but I don't know if the Game of the Year will be announced then, so I don't really know. But I thought it would just be like a nice little reminder for the end, if anyone is waiting for it.
Game Awards, the 8th of December.
So that's roughly when this episode gets released.
Roughly, yes. So we'll know. And we'll know exactly. I think we all know exactly who's going to win, but yes. So, well, that's another episode. I'm not allowed to say what number in case we change things.
Boy.
But that's another episode. Chris, take us out.
Well then, we'll see you in a bit. Thanks for listening. Take care. And also, Robocop for Game of the Year.
Indeed.
He said it.
Bye.